Video game characters are super distinct and often iconic, and sometimes they change it. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 character image changes that sucked big time. Coming in at number 10, it's Reptile from Mortal Kombat. Oh yeah, you know, the green ninja. Yes, we get it. It got a little bit repetitive, all the ninjas in the games. I sympathize, believe me. But when Mortal Kombat 4 came around and Reptile looked like a guy from middle management, but also a lizard, i.e. what I mean is his face is incredibly boring, but also a lizard too, it was pretty uninspiring, let's just say. Like, the distinguishment they made between Scorpion and Sub-Zero is actually pretty great. Their masks became slightly different, their eyes became different, they had different personalities, which were expressed in the same costume, and they made Reptile a middle management lizard man. And then they made Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, just make him a full lizard, whatever, who cares? I mean, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance Reptile is the most who cares possible design. He started to look cool again in Mortal Kombat 9, albeit completely different. And in Mortal Kombat 10, he finally looked good again, and kind of like what he's supposed to look like to some extent. And the hidden reptiles in the Mortal Kombat 11 crypt are great looking. That's what Reptile should look like from now on. Moving on to number 9, if you remember Tiny Tiger from Crash Bandicoot 2, you would remember that his original actual design is that of a Tasmanian tiger, which is now unfortunately an extinct species, but in Crash of the Titans he was remade to be a Siberian tiger because everybody thought, tiger what? And by everybody I mean nobody. Nobody cared at all except for some person, probably some executive at Radical Entertainment who had just taken over the series, who was like, that doesn't look like a tiger. Make it look like a tiger for this game. And then he stayed a Siberian tiger until some person with sense decided to say, hey, nah, no, he's a Tasmanian tiger. Why would a Siberian tiger be in this game? Also, why would he be wearing camo? No. And moving on to number 8. The original Garrett from Thief was pretty damn cool. Wore a hood, only had one eye but you couldn't tell, was nice and mysterious about it, had only 2 belts, and all around fit in with the environment. And then there's New Garrett. New Garrett's costume seems to be made primarily of various versions of belts. He kind of looks like he's supposed to be a vampire, but he's not a vampire. The original Thief you could probably mistake for an archer or some kind of actual journeyman, you know, somebody who could blend in a crowd. Whereas the new Garrett, well, nobody in the crowd would have belts anymore because as a thief, he stole all of their belts and is wearing all of their belts. His costume is made up of so many belts, there are areas of the costume that look like they might be belts. You can't really tell that they're not belts. Give the people back their belts, Garrett. What did they ever do to you? Number 7 is BanjoKazooie's redesign in Nuts and Bolts, which was, let's just call, a bold new style. I'm sorry, I didn't mean bold, I meant bad. There's 2 things I want to say. The first involves his hair and nose. Those are bad. Both of them, they're very bad. The hair looks like some kind of wood that is on his head, and the nose looks like a stone. Not just any stone, like a small stone table. And I have a lot to say about Kazooie. They didn't really screw Kazooie up as bad. But the other thing that I want to say about this redesign is that it miraculously predates Five Nights at Freddy's by 6 years. If your nightmares involving bear characters from video games predate Five Nights at Freddy's, it's probably because of BanjoKazooie Nuts and Bolts, because what is going on? He is just super freaky looking. I hate it so much. Moving on to number 6. It is with great regret that I remember Bomberman Act 0. If you've ever thought of making Bomberman but with a dark dystopian future, and you want to put the Bombermen in armor that kinda looks like scary robots, or Anthem, let's just go with scary robots. Anthem is, well, it's also bad. But not only did the game have horrific collision detection, terrible music, and a first-person mode, it also had a Bomberman that looked like this, which doesn't make any sense. That's not Bomberman. That's It kind of looks like Vector Man. If Vector Man had a body, I guess. But he's also got Tony Stark's arc reactor or something that looks like it. I mean, the Iron Man movie came out 2 years later, but it had been announced a year prior to this game being made. So I don't know whether to credit that as like misguided foresight or just a coincidence. But that, I mean, that's not Bomberman. Don't even try to tell me that's Bomberman. It looks so bad. Coming in at number 5 is the Angry Sun from Super Mario Maker. Now, in respective areas of the game, he looks appropriate. In fact, I would almost say that he looks pretty much how he's supposed to look in basically every game except the new Super Mario Bros. Wii U version of him, which is kind of like a weird mask from like some annoying middle-aged couple that is really into world culture and stuff. Their bedroom or maybe their dining room, I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't look like the sun, for one, and it doesn't look angry. It is neither of the things that it represents itself to be, as an angry sun. I mean, he looks like a coaster, like something you put down on a table to preserve it from moisture when you put a drink down. Coming in at number 4, Knuckles from Sonic Boom. Yeah, Knuckles, who has Knuckles boxing gloves with knuckles on them that he uses to break through walls in previous Sonic games, must be a mindless knucklehead who spends all of his time at the gym. Never mind his solemn backstory as the lone guardian of a mystical island and its secret magic emeralds. Nah, he's just a big dope. A meathead who thinks like a meathead. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the Sonic Boom cartoon is a hell of a lot of fun. It's actually really funny most of the time. And although I would really hardly put it as a faithful adaptation of the Sonic the Hedgehog lore, pretty much every cartoon that Sonic has existed in has never been that, so it's excusable. However, in a Sonic game, one that was gonna finally pick up the spare and maybe at least be something cool this time around, no, it wasn't that. I mean, Sonic has since redeemed himself, but Knuckles is owed one for Sonic Boom, folks. Moving on to number 3 is Bionic Commando, who was a flat-topped sunglasses cool dude way back in the day and became a dreadlocked, tank-topped, got suspenders but not using them, not cool guy. I just don't even have an insult for him. He just looks bad. Like, his dreadlocks don't look good. And it's not because they're dreadlocks, it's because they look bad. Dreadlocks can look great on a character. Here, they do not. I'm not even saying that this guy shouldn't have dreadlocks. I'm sure there were a lot of people with dreadlocks that took issue with how bad the dreadlocks were. At least I hope so, because dreadlocks are genuinely cool, and they aren't here. Coming in at number 2, that time they made Spyro the Dragon into like a gargoyle thing. They made Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, and wowie, does he just not look like Spyro. I had the pleasure of reviewing the Spyro remakes, and that redesign, frickin' great. Just perfect. Captures the essence of Spyro while updating him in a manner that looks genuinely modern. Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, what? Like, just what? What are you even thinking? Where did that come out of anyone's brain? Who was like, yeah, let's do that? I can't believe that happened. It's that bad. With a mascot thing, you don't make it look like a completely different thing. Like, other than the fact that he's purple, I'm not even curious if that's Spyro. You would have to tell me. That's not good. And finally, number 1, our man Dante from DMC. Not like the abbreviation of Devil May Cry. What can I say about Emo Dante? Like, we call him Emo Dante for a reason. Not that DMC is actually a bad game. I know that I may get a little pushback on that, but I thought it was a pretty damn good game. It did some really interesting stuff with the formula that I think influenced action games later on, and I actually think that's kind of cool. I just don't think Dante is in that game at all. Our Dante is just not like that Dante. Our Dante obviously has different hair, but that's not the essence of it. That Dante is well, everything that calling him Emo Dante implies he is. It was very nice to see real Dante again. That's all I'm going to say. What's your least favorite character redesign in video game history? Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. And if you like this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at FalconTheHero. We'll see you next time, right here on gameranx.